Welcome back to Retro Rewire. My name is JJ. We are back for another episode of In the Hunt at a Hard Off. And we're going to start things off here and take a look at this modded PlayStation 1. PlayStation Forever indeed. And pretty cool that it has two audio outs. For I believe those are 1/4 inch outs. And then you got like two little toggles for the volume there. Pretty cool. Haven't seen this one, but I don't know. I don't think it's actually for sale. I think it's just a part of like the store decor. But we're going to start things off in the junk section. And before we dig in deep, I just want to give a preview of the following episode, which is going to be more about software, although we will see more hardware in episode 2 as this location was fully stocked, fully loaded. But here we are in the junk case, full of handhelds from Nintendo, Sony, and that's pretty much it. Those are the two biggest ones, although I believe there was a Wonder Swan in here. But we have a Game Boy Light coming in at $5,000 before tax, and it was 50% off. And it looks to have a few problems, but possibly something that could be repaired. There's a DualSense controller in the back there and in the box, and it's coming in at 4,000 yen. I wonder what's going on there. But here we have a whole bunch of super retro like handhelds and games. Some of them actually have some pretty cool designs. And there's our Wonder Swan, and then we have some DSIs and lights coming in at 15,000 before sales tax, and then 38,500 for this PC Engine Express. Now the other hard off that I went to had one for 27,500, so a little bit of a difference there in pricing, although this one does power on. And then we have some Game Boys here. We got a pocket, two pockets, and then the original Game Boy way in the back, and they're all between 3,000 to 4,000. And then here we have some software. Have no idea what these will play on, but I believe there was a X6800. But what you're seeing here is one of the PSPs that was in the display case. My friend actually purchased it, and cosmetically it's in pretty good shape considering that it's junk, and it was a working unit. But we tested it out, we popped in a game, it was able to load it, and we discovered that there was I think it's noted in the tag, but when it loads, it had like some screeching sound. But after doing a quick repair to it, this thing is fully functioning. And as you can see, the screen is free of any like dead pixels. But I would say that this was a pretty good pickup. And I believe this is all Crisis Core, which we found in the junk section. We just a way to test it. But here we are in the stacks, and oh, look at all these consoles from PlayStation 2, PS1, Super Famicom. And these shelves run a little deep, so there's actually stuff deep in there, so you can spend quite a bit of time just kind of junk diving, so to speak. And all sorts of peripherals, controllers. We have the conga drum, the taiko drum, and up above we have the Optic racing wheel for 500 before sales tax. And then we have a Dreamcast racing wheel, which was 16,000 yen. Or 1,600, excuse me, so super cheap. And then we have this Famicom computer network adapter coming in at 4,000 before sales tax. And then we have this little Switch accessory. Now, because this is in the junk section, there's something definitely wrong with it. But like stuff like this, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's not compatible with modern LCD TVs. But that was a pretty good price. And then look at all these Wii Fits. My goodness. You can get it in the box or loose. And then, here in the bins, it's just all sorts of controllers. And then we have this little thing for the PC Engine. Now, it seems to be like a memory module. I've seen this before, but I don't know if it's for saving games, because I know the PC Engine has an internal save battery. Or at least the Duo does, so maybe that's what that kind of adds that functionality to PC Engine. I'm not really sure. But here's like a Sega Saturn controller and the Rumble Pack for the Dreamcast, coming in at 1,100. And there's actually a Dreamcast controller in there too. But just all sorts of stuff in the bins, from memory cards. This is a great place to pick up memory cards, honestly. And then we have some PSP UMD discs. There's a lot of things that could be done with these, like art projects, if that's kind of your thing. But there's just so many materials in here, so many games. Look at all this DS stuff. And quite a bit of copies of that one with the green label. But it's definitely worth browsing in here just because you never know what you will find. And I have found a few things that were definitely worth it. But here we are going into the, coming out of the shadows is a GameCube. Now this is 50% off. It works, it just doesn't come with any cables. So that's a pretty good price. And there is a testing station, so you could test it out, and there is software in the junk area. Pretty much everything you need, to be sure. And look at this, just full of software. Nothing particularly interesting in there, but I did, off camera, I was searching through that. And then a whole bunch of PS1s. But here we have the software, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and occasionally there is a PlayStation 4. And then this will give you an idea. A lot of sports titles. A lot of football or soccer. And then we have PSP, which has like a lot of Monster Hunter. The Super Famicom section, you could usually find like your Mario Karts, Super Mario World, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG, quite a bit of stuff. The DS section, I think that one is a little bit more, maybe perhaps shovelware. Occasionally there is some decent titles. But it looks like multiple copies of a handful of games. But I'll pull one out so you can kind of see what to expect, at least in this specific hard off. Which I have, well, I don't know, what's that, like I had like a little insect in kanji, hiragana, katakana. But here we go, Nintendo 64. As you can see, a lot of first party titles line up the junk section. And the average price was about 330 yen. Some Pokemon there. Some Mario Party. You know, I don't think I haven't really played those Mario Party games. And then we have Donkey Kong Country 64, a hardcore collectathon, coming in at 330 yen. Occasionally you can find this one for 100 yen. I haven't played it myself. I wonder if it's any good. And then GameCube games. Usually Naruto games are the ones that line up the junk section. But here we go. Look at this. Super Mario Bros. Wii. If it doesn't have like a price tag on it, it's 100 yen. 110 yen, you know, after sales tax. But look at, it's going to have all your little paperwork there. The disc itself is a little bit rough, but some of the copies in there had, you know, better copies of the game. But that's going to work. That's going to run. I picked up my copy in the junk section a few months ago. But here we have Donkey Konga for 300 yen before sales tax. And, you know, it comes with the manual and a little warning leaflet thingy. And then you could pair it with the drums. And the drums are in pretty good shape. And there's actually like 2 or 3. Look at that. Not too bad. And then I'll just turn it around so we can see the price. And there you go, 300 yen before sales tax. But if that's not enough for you, you can get it in the box. Now, it makes a comment about like the software, the game. Could be scratched or something, but... And it was even less, my goodness. And then we're just going to do one more little glance here at all the PlayStation 2s. So many PlayStation 2s coming in at various prices with various issues. Some of these actually work fine. It's just going to be like the console only. Like this one here, it includes the box, but it looks like it's having a little bit of trouble reading discs. And then here we have this Toshiba CRT TV. This thing has a freaking awesome design. And in the back, it's only going to support like an RF connection. But still, the retro design on that is really cool. And then here's the model number in case you're interested. I believe it's a black and white TV. At least that's what I found out online, but I don't know. Anyhow, here we go. More consoles. Just so many consoles. And they had more, which we'll see in the following, in the follow-up episode. But down below, we have a light gun for the Dreamcast, a Dreamcast controller in the box. And then here we have a game controller. And then we have like these little handles for the 3DS XL. And then in the back, they have an ASCII stick. And I believe this one was for the Famicom. And it has a pretty cool design. Pretty sleek. Yep, family computer, so it's going to be for the Famicom. And it's cool that it has the box. It's just kind of flattened out. And then here we have our PlayStation Minis, all clocking in at 6,000 before sales tax. And then a whole bunch of PlayStation 4s. Above that, you can see that they have some behind the glass, as well as some PS3s. In fact, speaking of the PS3, that one that's coming in for 6,000 before sales tax is the 40 gig unit. And I believe that one did support PS2 via emulation. And then we have an arcade stick for the PlayStation here. That thing looks like it's in pretty good condition. The box is, so I imagine the controller is in even better condition. Here we have a limited edition Kingdom Hearts PS4 Pro. And next to that, we have a pair of PS5s. Look at the price on these bad boys. 59,400 yen. Finally, they're all, the used ones are coming in at I would say like a decent price. And then down below we have a limited edition Advanced Warfare Call of Duty Xbox One 1 terabyte. Now this is like less than 120 bucks. Not bad there. And then just a whole bunch of controllers. Got a funky one for the Switch here by Hori. And then the GameCube controller coming in at $27.50. And of course our N64 stuff. Some Sega Saturn. Next to that we have a pair of PC Engine sticks. But not too bad here for the Saturn controller, the condition. Pretty cool right here with our PC Engine controllers. And then behind that we have a Saturn Hori pad. I haven't actually used this one, but I don't know. The stock Sega Saturn one is actually pretty good, so don't know if I would try that one. But here we have a wireless controller. This is pretty generic. What else do we have here? Well, besides that, we have more machines, more consoles. Look at that. We have a 3000 series PS1 coming in at 5,500. Some N64s, Wii's, Wii U's, racing wheels down in the bottom, Xbox One, and then we have a PS3 Fat. And this is the 60 gig unit, which will play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3, coming in at 19,800 yen, and it has a 3-month warranty. We got our Sega Dreamcast there. It's a great system there. And then next to the old Sega Mega Drive, and then back up to the top, we got more stuff in the box. Mega Drive, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, and a few Super Famicoms. I do like the Super Famicom box. Look how colorful that is. Although that one there is a little bit sun faded, but man, oh man, they had quite a bit. And we got our Nintendo 64s coming in at 8,000 before sales tax. And the GameCube. The GameCube is so tiny, the box. It's perfect if you're coming in as a tourist. And Wii's. I do like the black Wii there. Pretty cool looking. And then this stuff is just discounted. Looks like the games are like about 200 yen. And quite a bit of top loaders in here. My goodness. And more Super Famicoms. And then here we go. The first showcase. Mostly out, with full of Nintendo Switch stuff. Or Nintendo stuff in general. Then we got that PC Engine Mini. We'll take a closer look at that in a sec. But the OLED Switch coming in at 37,400 yen. The Switch Lite is not too bad. 16,500 yen. And then we have this Sword Art Online PS4 special edition. Some amiibos, controllers. We got a DualSense controller there coming in at 6,000. And Famicom and Super Famicom Minis. The price on these isn't too bad. I mean, 5,500, 8,800 respectively. Then we got some Metroid Dread amiibos. Still haven't played that game. And more mini systems. The PC Engine Mini, that's like the most expensive one. 11,000. And then we have the Neo Geo Mini coming in at 8,800 yen. Quite a few of them, actually. And then in the next case, we had our handhelds. That PSP up at the top, that blue one looks so freaking cool. And look at that red PSP. It has something on the D-pad, like a little attachment. Got some 2DSs in the back, 15,400. And some a 2DS XL next to some 3DS XLs. The original standard 3DS. That's one of my favorite ones, honestly. Not too bad. And then we have this limited edition one. I have no idea what game this could be. For some, it might be pretty obvious, but for the uninitiated, I have no idea. But it's coming in at 16,500 yen. And all I know is 3 little silhouettes, and you have. Now, here's one that has gone up in price, the new 3DS. 14,850. When I first arrived in Japan, these things were like 5,000, 6,000. The Switch was still hot or brand new. It's still selling like hotcakes. But here we have some DS systems, and I do like this foresty green one. That's kind of not a very common color. And now we're gonna head onto the next showcase and take a look at some games, Famicom and Super Famicom. As well as, it looks like we have a few handheld Game Gear and PC Engine, and some more consoles. They're just everywhere in the store. But some pretty good titles here, you know, Axlay, Vulcan, Magic Sword, Mystical Ninja, and then we have Tiny Toons. Although I believe that's the little like a sports-based game, and a few more. Parodius. We got Rockman X2 at 1650, Power Instinct, Magic Sword at 2750, which has a pretty cool cover. And then 2,000 yen before sales tax for Super Castlevania 4. And then we have this Vulcan here for 3,300. Axelay for the same price, 3,300. That one was pretty tempting. And then we have Raccoon Rascal. Now look at this. It seems to be like a puzzle game. Kind of interested in that one. We have ActRaiser. And then this was one of my purchases. R-Type 3. This is a great game. But yeah, super happy with that purchase. And then we have some Disney Famicom games, Chip and Dale, DuckTales. A lot of this stuff is coming in at 16 between, I guess, 1,000 and 3,000. That Murder Club looks really interesting, and so far that's the most expensive one in there, coming in at 4,000 before sales tax. We got some Kid Draculas. And we got Ninja Gaiden coming in at 2750 next to Makaimura, just below it at 1650. And Tom and Jerry at 6,600. You know, Tom and Jerry is quite popular here in Japan. There was an exhibition not too long ago. And then we have some expansion packs, some Game Gear games, an MSX title down there, and PC Engine with Bonk 2, 2,000 yen before sales tax. And then here we have some more handhelds behind the glass, or handheld games. And I guess this one's pretty nice because, you know, everything is just kind of priced according to the shelf. Some more memory cards. We got this Gran Turismo Sport coming in at 1,000 yen before sales tax. And then we have Metroid Dread coming in at 5,500. The special edition. Kind of a big box there. So yeah, all sorts of stuff in here. Some pretty interesting titles like that Castlevania for the Game Boy, the sequel. And then they also have the first one, the first Castlevania, coming in at 2,200. Got Rockman World 3 for 1,650. But yeah, a lot of cool titles in here. Definitely worth checking out. But in the next episode, we're going to continue down the main game aisle and take a look at more consoles. So we'll see you soon. Ciao.